We are the Fashion Daddies.
Okay, Fashion Daddy Nick, we're here. We're back for part two of the history of the red carpet.
We're going to continue, right?
Yes.
You left me like hanging. Well, I think I left you hanging.
Yes.
I left you hanging on Armani, which is not a bad way to hang.
No.
On.
In part one, if you didn't watch, go back and watch because we started from the beginning.
Yeah.
How a red carpet even originated. We went through the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and now we're in the modern era of the red carpet.
Right.
And what changed it all?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, I know what changed it, but yeah, go. Let's go.
All right. It's the era of the stylist. During this time of red carpet turmoil, during the late 90s to early 2000s, and as a direct result of Joan Rivers, of course.
Blame it on Joan. I love that you say turmoil. It's like this war happening, you know?
Yes. Red carpet turmoil.
Yeah.
Joan Rivers and her asking, "Who are you wearing?" Suddenly, other pre-show hosts from other competing programs were asking, and it became highly important to be dressed by someone, and more importantly, be dressed right. So, hence, the stylist was born. Back in the day, the precursor to what we know as a stylist was a personal shopper or the actual fashion designer, him or herself, telling the stars what to wear. And, as we said, the costume designer. Suddenly, a new crop of fashion help arrived for the Hollywood stars in the form of a stylist. This was someone who was devoted to finding dresses, outfits for their celebrity clients, paid for or borrowed. They combined their pool of talents, finding dressmakers and designers who would be willing to dress the stars or somehow do it themselves. The stylists would get a fee for their job, which also involved alterations, fitting, time, etc. And slowly, it began to be the norm for the designers, design companies to allow the stars to wear their garments for free, lent to them for the one-time only occasion, as long as they were told, Joan Rivers, whoever else was listening, who they were wearing. And this is how free red carpet advertising came to fruition. Stars would say who they were wearing in exchange for having them lend their very expensive frocks for free.
Pay for play.
Yes.
Kind of, I guess.
Yes.
But it makes sense, you know?
Yeah.
So who was paying this so-called personal shopper / stylist fee? Were the actors, the studios, or a combination of both, perhaps?
I think it was a combination of both.
Okay.
I think that many of the big celebrities would have the studios pay for it. Now, if you're doing a press tour like Wicked, which we've been covering, that is all paid for by the studio.
And it's probably included in the contract before you even begin to film or read your first line.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
It's like all those award shows and the payment to the stylist, the makeup, et cetera, is like that's all part of that long contract.
And I would assume that the stylists, these highly paid stylists for the big stars, the studios understand that is where the money is going, because what's actually worn on those stars is free.
Right.
So normally the studio would have to fork over hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of clothing that these stars are wearing. But instead, you hire the stylist, who is very expensive, but less expensive than an entire wardrobe.
That's true. Wow. Well, let's just continue on with this. Designers and their brands, they figured that it would be brand exposure and in the end might help them financially to have a star say Calvin Klein, Valentino, or Armani over and over again when they were asked by the likes of Joan Rivers, of course, in the hopes that someone Anyone watching will end up at their local Macy's and see a Calvin Klein perfume or an Armani scarf, and guess what? End up buying it. Now, more on that later. Stylists began charging small one-time fees for their services to the stars, and their names got around town, especially if their stars won an Academy Award, looked great, or made the splashy papers the following day. Several years and many awards shows later, stylists became in high demand and the norm as part of an actress's glam squad for big red carpet events. They were either paid for personally by the actress or became part of the actress's contract. In-demand stylists began charging $10,000 a day for their time. Soon, during the mid-2000s, stylists began realizing that they could also make extra money doing side deals with the designers and or the designer brands. Now, this is a bit controversial.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is all alleged.
Allegedly. This section is allegedly, by the way. And many in the industry will deny it, while some are very open about it. So, I'm just going to talk about it.
Okay.
So, let's get the tea.
Okay.
Let's get the tea
Give it
out.
to us.
All right, let's start with quote-unquote ambassadorships. Some stylists began cutting backroom deals with big high-end designer brands in which they would get an extra cut. And added $50,000 was something that I heard of, all right? If they got their big A-list stars in their brand's designs. And the stars would also make some money, lots of it, from this deal as well. Now, these deals were called ambassadorships. Now, again, some of them were backroom ambassadorships, all right? So the stylist would privately, away from the star, make a deal with the brand, be like, if you give me extra money, it'll give me an extra incentive to get your dress on my star, right?
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, so that's dishy, the tea, honey, the tea. Now, all of this was adding to the fact that the red carpet industry was really on its way to becoming a big business.
It certainly was. Well, as we know, depending on the award show, the stars would wear anything from ready to wear to designer to haute couture.
Right.
And now they even wear custom couture. It's the new ultimate of ultimates.
Yeah.
So, many brands have upped the ante when it comes to red carpet dressing by going beyond haute couture and creating actual custom one-of-a-kind gowns for their celebrity clients. Designers have begun to collaborate with the stars and their stylists to create custom gowns made especially and only for them. These gowns have never been shown on the runway and are only for the stars. Most of these custom couture gowns are done for the brand ambassadors. So you spoke about some behind the scenes ambassadorships.
Right.
What happened was then it evolved into actual brand ambassadors.
Right.
Where these celebrities would be the faces of these fashion brands.
So now this, I believe, the one that I first talked about was sort of behind the scenes ambassadorships that was sort of done with the stylists and the brands alone. This is where the actress or celebrity cuts the middleman.
Yes.
Basically, and just goes right, or the brand cuts the middleman and goes right to the celebrity or their PR people, their manager, their lawyer, and be like, hey, we want that person to only wear us.
Yes. So that person, that celebrity, that star is locked in to a Louis Vuitton, a Dior. They can only wear that brand. And they obviously do many of the photo shoots, whether it's for the fashion brand, usually for the perfumes or the accessories.
So when you do that, it's like you've got the brand, you've got the house of Dior, you've got the actor, like a Charlize Theron, and then you've got her stylist.
Right.
I wonder where the stylist comes in. I guess maybe as an advisor, perhaps?
Yes, an advisor, a facilitator.
A facilitator.
Yeah.
Right. Because Dior is making the gown, and Dior's, yeah, I see it. I see it. It's not like, the stylist is not necessary.
No.
In these ambassadorships.
Yes. And
they're still part of the game.
We know they have great taste, and they have built careers off of knowing what looks good.
Right.
So they are that eye in addition to all the other help. So these brand ambassadors, like Nick said, are Charlize Theron for Dior, Emma Stone for Louis Vuitton, Zoe Saldana for Saint Laurent, Zendaya for Louis Vuitton again. Mm-hmm. They get this ultimate gown treatment because they are extra special and that they actually have a contract, as we said, for either the fragrance, the makeup, or the fashion. Nowadays, it is usually in their contract that they will get a specific number of custom designs, especially for the red carpet events such as the Academy Awards. Mm-hmm. These gowns, like I said, are like haute couture ones, mostly handmade, taking hundreds and hundreds of hours to create. But the bonus is that they were created just for them. Hence, custom couture. Now, here's the thing. All these gowns go back to the design house brand for their archives. The stars do not get to keep them. That is the price they will pay when it is lent to them for free. Now, there are exceptions to this. Mm-hmm. I know for sure, now this wasn't a custom gown, but Julia Roberts kept her Valentino gown she won the Academy Award in.
Yes.
And I think oftentimes they will gift them if it is such an ultimate occasion.
Right.
Like winning Best Actress. So they will give them, but the majority of them go back for the archives
of the designer houses.
Yes,
of the designer. I'm sure that they put in, even though like they give it back to a Julia Roberts, they put a little clause saying, if we're doing a big, huge Valentino retrospective, we want to, of course, show your dress. So
yes.
I need you to put it in a box, Julia. Send it to Rome.
Yeah.
Pronto.
Pull it out from under your bed.
Right. All right, so let's get to this part of the awards show fashion game. So who rules the red carpet now? The design houses and the conglomerates. All right. Many of these brands' designers are actually owned by only a handful of multinational brand conglomerates. People might not realize that Chanel is not really owned by Chanel, or Balmain is not owned by Balmain, or Gucci, etc. These are some of those huge conglomerates. We've got LVMH, that's Louis Vuitton, Moet and Chandon, and it's they own Louis Vuitton, and Givenchy, Dior, Marc Jacobs. We've got Kering, who owns Gucci, McQueen, Alexander McQueen. They also own Saint Laurent and Balenciaga. You've got Puig, which is Puig. It's a Catalan word, but it's pronounced Puig. They own Jean Paul Gaultier, Carolina Herrera, and then Mehula, which is from Qatar. They own Valentino as well as Balmain.
Wow.
Therefore, these handful of fashion conglomerates now control a lot of the top red carpet events, since they are all spending millions and millions of dollars to get their brands on Hollywood stars. It is said that a company design house spends about $500,000 or more on getting just one dress at the Academy Awards.
Wow.
The money it costs to make a gown, the draping time, pattern making time, the fabric, the construction, all that handwork, the hours and hours of handwork, the money to send a team of sewers, tailors, fitters to LA for fittings, the flights, hotel, etc. It is said that big companies like Chanel, Dior, etc., they sent a private plane with a team, y'all, during the weeks leading up to the Oscars and set up suites at the Four Seasons to prepare and make sure that their A-list Hollywood clients and stylists are well taken care of. The time in meetings to discuss the design, the pre-planning, the inspiration, all of that is all that goes in order to get a dress at the Oscars.
Wow.
So why would these fashion multi-billion-dollar conglomerates do this?
Well, I have the answer.
Oh.
And as we know, it's publicity, which publicity is basically advertising.
Yeah.
So having your brand, designer name mentioned on the red carpet is free advertisement. Well, not free because you said it was almost.
I just told you how much it costs.
Yes. Yeah. But a big brand feels it is money well spent to go through it all to get a brand awareness out to the massive public. Having your brand mentioned on the red carpet is often cheaper than the cost of paying for an actual commercial or ad.
Yeah.
In 2025, the price of a 30-second commercial during the Oscars live telecast was $2 million.
Wow.
Yeah. So
okay, and now after I just said that it probably costs each of these houses $500,000 to get a dress on an actress.
Yes,
that's still cheaper than $2 million for a commercial.
And
wow,
probably a lot more eyes on that with the endless media that covers it throughout the world. So, if the actress doesn't mention who she is wearing or isn't asked, each designer brand now puts it out on social media and sends press releases to anyone and everyone telling them who she was wearing. A day or two after the award shows, the brands will bombard their social media channels with exclusive photos and or videos of the making of the special.
Yes. And let me just tell you, as a quote-unquote red carpet expert as myself, I appreciate this, right, Daddy David? When we are working, talking about the red carpet for the Oscars or, the Golden Globes and or the Emmys, it's like we are just scrolling the internets for anyone to tell us what they wore. And a lot of times it's the actual design houses.
Well, also, I feel that these huge brands don't release the information fast enough. In my estimation.
Yeah, true.
I would like it faster.
Yeah, this is true.
Especially the way things are going. If I were a brand, I would have it on the internet within seconds.
Yeah, you can.
Landing.
Can't you pre-time those posts?
I don't know, but I think it's time that they get it out.
Just get it out. Get it out. For people like us, yes.
So, therefore, that night or the following days, when photos, behind-the-scenes videos are splashed all over the magazines, websites, etc., the brand's name will go right there with the actresses, right alongside. Yeah. All this digital media publicity can add to digital ad money. The amount of likes or hits can drive people to the designer's website or Instagram, TikTok account, and even though there might not be an actual physical dollar being exchanged or made, it's done in a digital manner, estimating that it brought millions of dollars worth of clients to the brand.
Wow. Through the social media.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, let's talk about that. We call that trickle-down economics.
Red carpet economics.
Correct. Now, the reason why designers and brands will make a $100,000 worth custom couture gown for free for an actress for the Academy Awards isn't that they think you, in your lovely place you live, wherever you may be living,
right,
that all of a sudden you're going to go out to the store or go on their website and order a $100,000 gown. No, that's not it. It's because they want you to go the next time you are at a store or a shopping site or a cruise ship boutique.
Yes.
And buy that brand's lipstick.
Yes.
Or purse or sunglasses. That's it. That is it. The brands know that 99.9999999% of the people in the world cannot afford a $100,000 haute couture gown, which is, by the way, what they cost, okay, if you were to pay for that. Or a $10,000 ready-to-wear one, all right? Now, but the common folk, they might be able to afford a $25 lipstick from YSL or $200 sunglasses from Gucci or $800 sneakers from Balenciaga, or even, they might splurge and buy a $4,000 quilted Chanel bag.
Yeah.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody else, is the business of the red carpet.
That is where the bulk of the money from these huge conglomerates comes from.
Right.
It is the perfume, the makeup, the accessories.
That funds everything else.
Yeah. Now, of course, there are still weddings and mothers of the brides. And if you can afford it, you can walk into Dior or some of these luxury houses.
Make an appointment,
and that can be your wedding dress.
Right.
And that is important too, because of course somebody wants to look like Jennifer Lawrence or Charlize Theron, and they might get that Dior wedding dress.
Right.
Now that's still going to set you back what, $25,000
or more? Or more.
It depends, but that's what it's all about. And so we're heading into another. Hopefully, this will be helpful when you're watching those award shows. If you didn't know some of this, or if you did, it's a little refresher. But you can now watch those red carpets with a new eye, right?
Yeah, a new perspective. I know what's going on, or I know why they're, saying the designer's name. And if you were one of those people that thought, why are these big fashion houses giving free dresses to the celebs? Now you know the history, and now you know why.
And if you're a fashion designer, we've got something for you, right?
Yes, we do.
Or a potential fashion designer, I should say.
Yes, we do.
It's our new pattern making book.
Yes, the basics of pattern making for fashion design. So if you want to get into fashion, if you love creating garments, or, you just love pattern making and fashion altogether, this is the Bible for you. This is the book for you.
And at Christmas time, the hardcover book is a beautiful coffee table book.
It's so gorgeous. We just ordered it. I know. We just ordered our own book.
Yes.
And we got it in the mail. And I was like, oh, it's coffee table beautiful, but it's sturdy enough that, if you're a little Nikita or a little Nick, and you're going to just go on to be a fabulous fashion designer, you're going to keep this book for a long time. Yeah. Or not, buy several.
All right, until next time.
Happy red carpet.
Happy red carpet.
The Fashion Daddies is created and hosted by David Paul and Nick Varios. It's produced, edited, sound mixed, and scenic designed by David Paul. I'm just here to entertain.